I'm going to treat myself to a lovely velvety creamy chicken and celery soup. You guys be glued. I've already prepared myself a chicken stock. It's a basic chicken stock with pieces, bones of chicken, aromatic vegetables like carrots, celery, onion, some peppercorns, bay leaves. I've got some nice chicken chunks here. I've got a drumstick, I've got a thigh. I'm just going to break it slightly into smaller bits. Let's have a bit of my olive oil. Just a bit of the butter though in this one, not too much. Now with some garlic. I'm not going to chop it. All the garlic flavor in that. I've chopped some chunks of chicken. This is a very rustic style of making a chicken soup, but one of the best. We've got some nice celery here. Some nicely diced celery into this. With the chicken now in, you can use a lot of herbs. Basil if you have, if you've got marjoram, if you've got sage, whatever you prefer. The chicken is searing. Got some chili flakes just to spike it up a bit. See, the moment chicken starts cooking, you will see that it leaves the bone, but it's not done yet totally. Bit of flour on this. What flour does is it coats the chicken as well. Also, it helps to thicken your cream soup. And the chicken stock now goes in. The stock in there now goes in some milk. And then for the garnish, I'm going to use some nice roundels of the tomato as well. I'm just going to remove the flesh because that is what we don't want for the garnish, and julienne it as finely as possible. Same goes with the pepper. Set our nice garnish aside. Once your soup comes to a boil, reduce the heat. The reason being, if it's boiling all the while, the chicken meat is going to get tough, and that is what we are not looking at. We are looking at a nice succulent chicken meat. I'm not going to throw the meat on the chicken, but use it for the soup. So let it simmer. So what I'm going to thicken this is with a nice rustic roll. Once again, let's leave it to cook nicely. And you can just see the moment I have added bread to this, it's already started thickening quite well. So the soup is simmering. Let's add a bit of salt. Mamma mia, ooh la la. And my favorite ingredient, freshly ground pepper into this. Let's see if our chicken is cooked. Whenever you're checking whether a chicken is cooked, you should always use a piece or a portion which has got the bone on it to check, because if that is cooked, which means that the boneless part of the chicken is definitely going to cook, as this takes slightly longer time. Let me check that. Nice and juicy. So now let me take the chicken pieces out of this. We'll let the chicken pieces cool for a while so that we can shred them and use in the soup. In the meanwhile, just a bit of cream into it. Cream always should be added at the last minute. If you overcook the cream or boil it too much, it can curdle your soup. There might be bits that you can see in the soup. So once you add the cream, you should not vigorously boil any soup or any gravies or any sauce that you're making. Time for the blend. So let's strain the soup once again. And what you've got is a nice creamy thick soup. And that's a clean velvety chicken soup. And now what I was telling you about the chicken, carefully take it off the bone, making sure that none of the cartilage or the bone bits are inside. I'm going to take a bit of the celery as well. So some nicely finely chopped celery here that goes on the base. Bits of the chicken. Just pour it. There it goes. The remaining cream here to go on top. For the bright color into this, what we had done was just julienne some tomatoes. So just place them randomly. And the pepper, some nicely chopped basil and parsley. Lovely. So my sexy, creamy, velvety chicken and celery soup is absolutely ready. Why don't you go ahead and make one for yourself?